Good morning. My name is Kimberly Pate, and this is 3.6.1, the video assignment for the brainstorming session. Talk a little bit about the group dynamic. I work remotely, so it's kind of hard for me to get my team together, but I have my husband and my son and his best friend Ethan. My husband is a boomer. I am a Gen Xer, so there's some age difference there. And then my son and his friend are both 19 and they're in college. So a wide range of thought processes with how I do things, how they do things. My husband's retired from education, so lots of different things going on with the group dynamic. Trying to make sure we see value even in smallest bits of input. Some comments in my list were extremely short to the point, few words do trick. I think that's that newer generation, my son's generation, they're not expansive with their words. Of course, me and my husband, we're more expansive with our words. So some of these were longer winded, probably more from me than from them, but I tried to lead and not gave them a couple of high-level ideas that I had after reading the article, and then kind of going over the complexity of the article and the challenges that Cary, Maine people were facing and all of that. So very interesting conversation about living in certain towns and in certain areas and how that affects schools and public safety and all of that. One of the challenges, I think, for our brainstorming session was we had all these things written down, but what are a couple of 2 or 3 things that we can take from this and generate lots of ideas, lots of ways to go. So that's one of the things we were looking at. Some of the things that we came up with in our session were finding uniquenesses to that area. Is there a chance for any growth or population growth? Do they truly have to dismantle? Is there something else outside of that? Doing some research possibly with what has worked with others, in the past that had this same set of maybe unique problems based on geographic location and things like that. We talked about that. We talked about being in a very rural area, very cold climate area. It's very different than living in Georgia where we live. We're in a decent sized city. Trying to get us all to try to put that filter on in our head when we're going through this. Sometimes it's hard to organize your thoughts. So we just kind of brainstormed, put everything down, and then we started breaking down in the previous conversation on, what do we do? So we landed on a couple of things. Let's look at not dismantling. Let's look and see if there are ways that we can draw some economic development into the area and not completely have to dismantle. Is there an opportunity to, if that doesn't work, to negotiate the best position within this big territory? Because you're giving up things. What does that look like for the city of Cary or Cary, Maine, as they're kind of joining a different group, but they still want to maintain, in our thought process, maintain and hold on to some of their uniquenesses as to who they are and things like that, and then have a good school and have public safety and make sure their roads are still maintained and all that, and have a low tax base and all the things that they're struggling with. So that was our session, and hope you enjoyed our video. Thank you.